So apparently, as I've not seen this channel before. There's this chap called Commander Nearsight. Looks like a sort of towel sort of tactics channel, and he's done crew are better guardsmen. Eat your heart out, Morty and Glory. Beef. I may not have heard of the channel before, but I have to say I do quite like the cut of this guy's jib. I do love a good bit of banter. So let's have a look. A cut of this guy's jib. Let's have a look. Let's give it a listen to.
Welcome back, Gwavesa, and today I'm
going to
take a look at.
I can't listen to it anymore. I can't listen anymore. Oh.
One of the best units in our codex. Or let me rephrase. Maybe I should say a unit that is our auxiliaries. That normally isn't amazing, but in a specific detachment is better than all of a specific army's battle line. And I'm talking about the Kroot Carnivores.
Controversial statement. A controversial statement. The best battle line out there, mate, unless they can slap the shit out of Plague Breeds in combat or outshoot Plague Breeds, I think they probably still have the mantle.
So the Kroot Carnivores are...
I don't say Garlic got the best battle line. I'm saying Death Guard got the best battle line.
Nice helpers who make us that we can further the greater good. They're normally our shock troops. They go ahead of the rest of the army. They're good in rough terrain and do little skirmishing fights with our enemies who are more inclined to do such brutal things like get into melee combat. As a Farsight supporter, though, I love me some good melee combat, which is why it's always good to have a squad of Kroot in your army to help out.
I have to say, you know what? This guy, he seems like a fairly base tile player. He's talking about crew. He's talking about auxiliaries. He's talking about liking Farsight and liking a bit of melee. Dude. Okay, you're going through all of these mental gymnastics. If you want to play guard so bad, just play guard. All right, we'll have you. Everyone gets to serve the Emperor, bro. Oh, I like some shooting, but I also like to take a little bit of combat.
We're going to go beyond that other than the fun, fluffy lore and get into the real point of this video. And my thesis will be, Kroot are better than guardsmen. And I'm not just saying basic level guardsmen. I'm saying every single guardsman unit that the guard have, we in the Kroot have a unit that's better than all of them.
Controversial statement.
Caveat is they have to be in a Kroot detachment in order to be better.
Every single guard, his crew are better than every single guard detachment, every single guard unit, only when they're in the Kroot detachment. I mean, that makes sense. Kroot should probably be quite good in the Kroot detachment. But I'm saying, look at what they have to do to imitate just a fraction of our power.
Better than all of them. But they're still pretty good, regardless. So, baseline, the Kroot just have better weapons. The guardsmen have las guns. That's strength 3. The Kroot have their Kroot guns, strength 4. Strength's better. I'm pretty sure the range is about the same, and they're both rapid fire, so nothing particularly terribly impressive there. And they both hit on 4+, but they both can get buffs to change that.
I'm very much in disagreement right now because you don't take guardsmen for las guns, but I will wait. Okay, I will wait.
Movement of 7, whereas the guard only have a movement of 6. So off
the
bat, we're already faster, and we're the same toughness value at a T3 apiece. But their save is better than ours at a 5. Ours is at a 6. But in the Kroot detachment, we get a 5-up invulnerable save, which is just unchangeable. It doesn't matter how much armor penetration you throw into it, we'll always have a 5-up save, which is great. The guard, on the other hand, and the AP, they're going to be dead. Because let's be real, fishing for 6s is not ideal. But enough of just the baseline. We're going to get into their specific guys real quick and go through each one and how the Kroot are just objectively better. So, first off, we're going to look at the classic Cadians. And the Cadians are like your every other unit of guard.
This
except
seems
they have the special ability
really
sticky objectives. And
disingenuous.
You know what? The Kroot also get sticky objectives. So would you look at that right there? We're on the same level. But the Kroot still have their buffs and movement and their buff.
Sticky objectives is like literally the worst guard ability. It's literally the worst guard ability. But I'll wait. He said every guard unit. I'll wait. He might compare him to Krieg. He might compare him to Catachans. We'll see.
With the Invuln save. And on top of that, they have the ability to scout. And the way that getting sticky objective works is it has to be at the end of your command phase, or during your command phase, I'm pretty sure.
At the end of your command phase, if this unit is within range of objective marker. So the problem with sticky objectives is you have to move. You have your command phase, and then you have to move on to an objective, and then you have to survive the enemy turn, and then you get to sticky it. So this is not unique to Kroot, by the way. This is the general reason for why I don't like sticky objectives, because often you aren't going to survive the following turn. Yeah.
They have the ability to scout, and the way that getting sticky objective works is it has to be at the end of your command phase, or during your command phase, I'm pretty sure. That you
overall, by the way, I want to be clear. I might disagree with the guy, but I like the way he's done his video. I like the artwork stuff he's used. It's cool.
OC you on it. To physically kill you off and then stand on it without you anywhere nearby. That being said, the Cadians don't really have a good job of this. The only way they could really do it is off their home objective. But if the Kroot use their scouting ability, they could potentially get in range of objectives in the middle of the board before the game starts and have OC on it at the start of the command phase and be able to hold it so that you can sticky random objectives sprinkled around in no man's land. So they're objectively better than the Cadians for the sticky objective ability.
It's an interesting point, sticky objectives and scout. I haven't seen the new Pariah Nexus deployment zones. I've heard some of them are quite close together. Could be wrong, but I do feel like you need more than a 7-inch scout to get onto a midfield objective. If there's a 24-inch gap, just go like off Dawn of War just for a moment. If there's a 24-inch gap and that objective is in that 24-inch, is in the middle of that, that's a 12-inch gap. There's a 3-inch zone from the objective. That'd be 9 inches. You'd need 9 inches to get onto the objective. Maybe with some deployments it would work. Yeah, maybe with some deployments it would work. Maybe you can start on the objective like Siriade says. The big issue that Dawn of War's down to a 20-inch gap now. Okay, so with it being a 20-inch gap, this is a very good point. The fact that you have Scout plus Sticky could potentially net you those objectives early on. Absolutely. I think that's a very powerful combination. The one thing that I would say is if this works if you go first. But if you don't go first, this doesn't work because you're not going to scout move forward aggressively with it. But hey, 50% of the time, it works every time. And you also have to kind of ask yourself, you can stick an objective, but in your turn one. But if you go out there, you're probably going to be exposing your unit. And there's a real chance that, you stick it in your command phase, but the opponent blows you off it or charges you off it the next time. They've got their turn one as well. So it works in theory. It's a good tool to have in the toolbox. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying I'm not sure how often it comes up in reality, but we'll see. It definitely works in theory.
After that, we're going to get into the infantry squads, and I'm going to be real with you guys. The infantry squads pack stuff the Kroot just can't. They have heavy weapons teams that are really good insofar as giving las guns their upgrade to las cannons. I believe they're called. Just a huge, massive, it's virtually a railgun. Just a single shot railgun.
I fucking wish it was a railgun, mate. It's not a railgun. Dude, if we had railguns in guard squads, I'd be like, yeah. Maybe it's like a railgun, maybe it's not like that. I always think of railguns like the Hammerhead one, but yeah. They're like rail cannons probably,
carry around. Except they have one shot, aim anywhere, and just phenomenal anti-tank. So they're pretty good. And the Kroot don't have anything to really compete in the realm of punching up into big anti-tank guns or anti-tank vehicles or monsters or anything like that. So
I don't know either, so I'm sure if it gives it infiltrate.
Squads pack
I think it's mostly scout though. Or maybe there's characters you can attach.
That being said, while they're on an objective, they get the benefit of cover, which is pretty cool. So they're on a 4-up save when they're on objectives. So the Kroot then, well, they always get stealth, which I like to think of as light cover. You're always moving around and it's harder to hit you no matter what.
I think it's probably better than...
it's more on your opponent's end to get less dice through in the initial roll.
I would strongly argue that stealth is better than light cover, because cover can be negated by AP, but stealth.
Than it is for you to make better saves at the end. I think it's better to cut more dice off as the rolling begins, so you just have to make less saves in general instead of making your saves good at the end. But I digress. So pretty much they have stealth, which gives them, well, not my opinion, a little light cover. And on top of that, they have their 5+ invuln. So though they might not be saving on 4s, they just will be stuck at the 5+ invuln no matter what. So I'd say this makes their durability about equal, making them on par with the infantry squads, barring any anti-tank attempts. Now we come to the Krieg.
So the Kroot with the 5 as a vulnerable save and stealth is really powerful. Yeah, I think that's really good. I wouldn't deny that. The issue is that the nail on the head here is the ability to actually like kill stuff. I think one thing that Guard will do, Guard will fundamentally do better than Kroot is, I think, we could argue till the cows come home. Our Guard more durable than Kroot because Guard can get feel no pains. Guards can get up to a 3-up save with cover and take cover. Guard can be just as maneuverable as Kroot because we can go for for move. As all we don't really hit on 4s. We hit on 3s, often rerolling 1s. And Deathcore Krieg are going to be hitting on fucking 2s most of the time. But the big thing is that Guard units have access to anti-tank. Kroot don't. So that somewhat limits Kroot. It significantly limits them. In my mind, what I'm learning from this video, and I'm taking this video at face value. I'm not just going in there like shit-eating grin, memeing it. I'm taking this video at face value. What I'm learning from this is a good tactics video. You should learn things from tactics videos. Kroot, good battle line, good for doing objective games, and they've got a surprising amount of things that are stacking up on them. I do disagree on them being better than Guard, but I don't think that makes Kroot bad. I think that makes Kroot's doing its own thing. And Guard are doing its own thing, and comparing them probably it's comparing 2 units that are sort of in the same jurisdiction, but at the same time Kroot do some things better than Guard, and Guard do some things better than Kroot. Overall, though, I think the ability to just stack up so many special. At the end of the day, you kill the enemy models.
Krieg have this ability where when they take a casualty, if they have their unit not at starting strength, they get a +1 to hit. And then, if their unit is below half strength, they get a +1 to wound, which is phenomenal, but your guys have to die to do that. In the Kroot detachment, when you're attacking an enemy, if the enemy unit is below starting strength, you get +1 to hit. So automatically, you don't even have to lose any guys, you just have to damage your opponent a little bit, and then you get +1 to hit. And if they're below half strength, you get +1 to wound. It's the exact.
So clearly, this is the pussy-o version. What do you mean you don't want to die? It is a guardsman's life to die. It's just our job to send them where they can die. The Kroot don't even have the goddamn common courtesy to die in order to trigger their own buff. In all seriousness, I actually prefer it on the version taking casualties, and that is because often you, as Guard, you will get hit first, so it triggers your ability rather than because we're not as maneuverable. Generally speaking, we're a more grind up the board kind of army, whereas Tower are more of a split around the sides. So this ability makes sense from a Tower player perspective, but from a Guard player perspective, the Grim Demeanor ability it works quite well for us. We're quite happy with it.
Exact same thing, but instead, your guys don't need to die in order to make it happen. So you can have possibly a full 20-man squad of Kroot throwing all of their attacks at something with +1 to hit and +1 to wound, which is absolutely crazy. And if you're in melee, the Kroot already hit on 3s. They don't need the +1 to hit natively. So they'd be hitting on 2s in combat, which is insane. And then the +1 to wound, even if they're up against something that's like T8, they'd be wounding on 5s. And if it's T7 on down, you're wounding it on 4s, which is just insane, the thought of it. But I digress.
I was there thinking Grim Demeanor for a moment. You won't have +1 to +1 to wound because half your guys will be dead. But no, the Kroot absolutely could have 20 guys because it's them doing it, not them getting killed. Yeah, it's a good point.
They are on par with the Kriegers in their own detachment against enemy units that they're getting support into killing. After that come the Catachans. The Catachans have a 6-inch scout move. They're really good. They're the recon guys for the Imperial Guard. But the Kroot also have a scout move. And you know how far the Kroot scout move is? 7 inches. So we are still better. Even though
I've
they
been
have a
told
6-inch scout, we still have,
theoretically
we have a scout. Ours
7
is just longer,
inches.
so it's better.
7 inches is too long.
In this game, length is very important.
Yeah.
Plus, on the charge,
I've been told it's all about the girth,
+1
actually.
to strength and AP. The Kroot do not get a bonus to AP, but they're already strength 4. They're always strength 4. And the Kroot always have an extra attack more than the Catachans.
You don't really take
So
Catachans for close combat.
Strength 4.
You take Catachans because they're cheap.
2 attacks a guy versus the Catachans only having 1 attack a guy.
And as
So
Joe really says, Strachan.
Objectively better than the Catachans as well.
It all comes down to points
Kroot
cost.
in their own detachment are just by far the best unit. Like, not the best unit. They're just better than all the Imperial Guards. The Kroot are our Imperial Guards all rolled into one, but they're just better in their own detachment. They're faster than the Guardsmen with their base movement and scouting further, and they even outpace the Specialist Catachan. They're more durable than the Guardsmen with their stealth and built-in invulns, even better than their special infantry squads. They are better at getting on and off objectives with a sticky via their scout move, beating out their special Cadians, and are stronger than the Catachans on base consistently in melee. It's not just on the charge. And they can get the plus to hit and wound without dying like the Kriegers. The only catch is the cost of the Kroot. Anyways, thank you all very much for listening. I'll be coming out with a video on a pure infantry Tau in the near future. We'll be smacking Mordian with the, hey, one of our battle line in a specific detachment is better than all of yours combined. And then we'll be doing into the true mass infantry movement, how Tau are just better to guard, and we'll be proving that in them making their full mass infantry army.
Hey, if you want to go pure infantry, don't stop. I'm not going to stop you.
Samger.
There we go. So overall, I think it's a pretty good video. I think it was well presented, and I liked a lot of the artwork that was being used and everything. I think the points were fairly well made and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like genuinely, I fucking enjoyed it. And it's always great to sort of learn about a new channel and all that kind of good stuff. I'll give it a cheeky like. I'll give it a cheeky subscribe. All that kind of good stuff. One thing I would just to briefly address some of the points, and I'm taking this just like, just a genuine, like, I'm just enjoying a little bit of friendly debate. That's all it is. Also, I want to say I fully appreciate this is a little bit of just fun, poking fun. Of course, calling me out and all that kind of stuff. It's going to get my attention. Totally get it, man. Totally love it. That's all gravy. Addressing some of the points, I do think he makes some great points about the Kroot having that ability to scout. I do think he makes some great points about the Kroot having the ability to have sort of the mass one to hit. Having the 5% vulnerable save, I think the 5% vulnerable save is really good. However, I think that there's been a couple of times when, like, the Kroot were not directly compared, or were not fairly compared. So you had like, oh well, the Kroot in the Kroot detachment get this, this, and this, which this is what makes them better. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's fair enough. But what about when we look at Guard and we look at the detachment they get with obviously we get our lethal hits and stuff, but also what about when we add in orders? It's Guard, absolutely Guard units unsupported with no characters in there. This goes for tanks, this goes for infantry, this goes for artillery. Guard units without support, they don't do very much, 100%. But the key to a victory with Guard is combined arms. I don't mean the detachment. I mean, like, you take a bunch of buffs and it takes a unit that on paper looks unimpressive, but suddenly it can punch well above its weight. And so, if you're going to compare a Kroot unit to a Guard unit, I think firstly take into account the Guard's orders. You take into account the Guard's detachment rule. You take into account that the Guard don't have a detachment rule specifically to buff their infantry yet. So that's like a little bit of an unfair. If we just compare data sheet to data sheet, I think that would be a big difference. And if when Guard hopefully do get a pure infantry detachment, then we could compare Kroot to Guard, and I think we'd get a clearer picture. So a little bit of an unfair comparison there, but dude, like, that's not a criticism more than anything else. That's not a criticism in any way, shape, or form. Because I get the point of the video. It's like, poke a little bit of fun, a little bit of a little bit of beef. I totally get that. That's not an issue. Putting that to one side for a little bit, because I don't want I don't want to come across like I'm being overly critical. I think the big deciding factor is the weapons that you get in a guard unit. Brute, they're running around with bolters. If bolters were meta, everyone would be fucking. If bolters were meta, then we'd be seeing Space Marine infantry running around. We'd be seeing fucking all sorts of marine and marine equivalent doing well, but they're not. Bolters are shit. Bolters are trash. And the thing that makes guard good, and I sort of touched on this with the lads kind of thing, which I think was a good point. The thing that makes guard infantry good, makes guard infantry some of the best battle lines. The same reason why Plague Marines are fucking incredible, is because of the special weapons that you can put into the unit. You take a 20-man, you say, 20 Catachans will get beaten by 20 Kroot. What happens when those 20 Catachans unleash 4 Flamers? Which they can do on Overwatch. It's not like you can stop them from doing that. They can do that when you move out. They can do that when you charge them. They can do that when they just come at you. That's the big what I don't care about your stealth then, because I'm fucking auto hitting you with flamers. That's one big thing. That's an average of 14 hits from those flamers, wounding on 3s. So you're looking at like roughly 9 or 10 wounds, and that's gonna cut the Kroot. The Kroot will save about a third of them, so the Kroot will save about, let's say, 3. So that's just like, and this is just assuming Overwatch. We're not taking into account the las guns and stuff on top of that as well. I think it wouldn't be out of the realms possibility off the top of my head for catch on unit on Overwatch to halve a unit of Kroot. And again, this could be a bit of an unfair comparison because I'm giving the guard the advantage of the Overwatch, assuming the Kroot aren't going to charge out behind the wall, of course. But I'm just saying it's a fact that it's the special weapons, I think, were the thing that were not taken into account. And I think, honestly, that is what makes the difference. I think that's what makes guard so good, is that you have battle Kroot. I say can absolutely play the battle line game well. They can play the primary game well. They can play the secondary game well, 100%. But that's all that's all they're sort of doing. Whereas guard, we can do primary game very well. We can absolutely do the movement game very well with scout and move. We can absolutely do the durability game very well, and we can but on top of all this, we can do the firepower game very well, because I've lost count of the number of times when a unit of Kriegers with sort of 10 left in the unit have run out, and they have brought down everything from fucking Terminators to Norn emissaries because they're hitting on 2s and they're wounding on fucking 4s with like melter guns and plasma guns and grenade launchers, and you've got fucking throwing grenades. They just have that ability to really spike up and do a whole damage. But that's my opinion, man. This guy's got his opinion. I respect his opinion. Like I said, I really enjoyed the video. It's always good to engage in a bit of a sort of furious tactical debate, passionate tactical debate. And I think that if you remove the whole comparing them to guardsmen bit and just remove it, I don't mean like he should have not put it in the video. What I mean is, just for a moment, if we just take that and put that to one side for a moment, and we just look at Kroot on their own and stand on their own merits, absolutely they're a good unit. Absolutely, they're a really good unit. And I think this guy does a very good job of highlighting the things that make Kroot sing. What I'd love to see as sort of a follow-up to this is how much you can turbo boost the Kroot up with the different characters. So it'd be really, really cool to see how the Kroot Shaper interacts with the various Kroot Carnivore units. So overall, enjoyed the video. Good job. Liked and subscribed. And I love the beef, mate. I love the beef. That was good shit. All right. Would you like to know more? If so, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. By supporting the channel, not only will you be doing your part, but you'll also be helping me create more content for your viewing pleasure and unlocking a whole host of perks. You get everything from a badge next to your name, custom emojis, but the big one is access to the Mordian Glory Discord server, an online community with almost 2,500 active members. It's always popping off in the MG Discord. We've got channels for army lists, hobbying, tactics, stories, and even a pretty spicy meme section as well. For all you greenhorns that wanted to see the Mordian Glory Hole, today is your lucky day. And joking aside, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of the current channel members and Patreons. You guys are amazing. Truly the lifeblood of the channel. I could not do Mordian Glory full-time without the incredible and generous support of my members. So thank you guys so much. And last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier Patreons. These are the War Masters, the people who have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty. So a heartfelt thank you to Alex Dengal, Bon Bon Vert, Mad Larkin, Marcus Roberts, Mark Panconi, RJ Scorpion, Swordfish Trombone, Try Again Bragg, John Stubbs, Nick Walsh, Diesel Fox, and August Barney. Seriously guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support is incredible and it makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. That's all for now. Hope you've all enjoyed today's video, and of course, as always, see you guys next time.